as we can, and right now you can see that it's a 4v4 between NC and LeO. So players are for NC Pedro, Andorin, Eru, and Skittle, and they are playing Mayans, Vikings, Britons. Well, Britons, that's an interesting one. And Mongols, you don't really see Britons all that much in competitive matches, but anyway, against them we have LeO as Vikea, Superboa, Nimano, and Remsyik. And that's Mongols, Persians, Huns, Mayans. So yeah, two civilizations are different if I see this correctly, but otherwise that's pretty much it. And as you are seeing at the very map here, that's going to be Arabia. Yep, that's an Arabia. The first to have a look at right now is Pedro, who is the host of the room. Hi Remus in the chat, and his starting position seems to be kinda okay, even though he won't be really all that happy about this tree line, because usually when there is a tree line with a pool inside, it basically means that your wood gathering is not going to be all that efficient, although the one on the right seems to be reasonably okay. Stone is nicely placed, gold as well, so no problem whatsoever. He already sees the hunt as well, one of the deer here, and otherwise he right now is looking for the boar, so let's help him a bit with the Fog of War off, and let's see where it is. Right now, pretty nice hunt. It seems like a double herd, which is very useful indeed, and otherwise where are the boars? One is here at the top, second also, yeah, that's pretty fine for him overall, so I don't really think there should be any problem for Pedro in this game. Right now I'm just going to switch through the players here, through Andorin, that's the next player. Also playing on the left for NC, and how is this position? He seems to be having slightly better wood line at the top at least, and the bottom it seems like, yeah, that's kinda okay. He does have the pool in there as well, but not really all that bad, and his gold placement is very nice, and this one between him and Pedro is very nice indeed, also the one at the back, so they shouldn't be having any kind of problems with gold or even stone later in the game. You can see that's literally a ton of gold for them. No problem whatsoever for either Andorin or Pedro. He has already discovered the hunt at the back also. And does he know about some of the boars? Where are they? In the forefront here. And does he see them? Yeah, he does. And he already sees another hunt at the very front. So no problem for him yet again. So very nice spawn for NC so far. The next player to have a look at is right now Eru. Let's switch it into his point of view. And how is he looking for him? But that's a slight problem maybe for him, because he's very close to the wall, so that means that he isn't controlling all that much of a map for himself, but at the same time it also means that he is kinda safe from raiding, as he can more easily wall, obviously with the tree here and here, so yeah, it has something going for it and something going against it as well. Otherwise, quite a lot of gold yet again, and stone as well, so he should be very happy about that being a pocket, and might be kinda looking maybe to sling someone, because obviously he has really quite a lot of safe resources, and that could be something he might be interested in. But looking how he is playing as the Britons here, I'm not exactly expecting that. Maybe he will be just more thinking about some Castle Age and some Longbowmen. Yeah, obviously that's what Britons do best. He's already luring a boar quite nicely, that's the second one already, as the first is almost done. So let's switch into the last from NC, that's going to be Skittle. Yeah, Skittle, Grey on the right side, and he's already luring second boar as well, right now finishing the first, it seems. Well, not yet, but he is going for the second nonetheless, so that all his guys can very clearly gather without any problems whatsoever, and stone very closely to each other. But where is the gold? Quite a lot of hunted forefront. This gold is not very safe. This one though is, and that's really quite a lot of stone here, but he has already discovered where his opponent is, Nimaro, and yeah, he's very close indeed, so this stone is going to be quite contented by both of these guys. Already going for some very nice volume, because it's going to be needed quite assuredly, and is maybe blue going for the same thing? Not yet, but he has already walled here, but he might be like walling towards his allies rather than opponents, but well, he's going to correct that quite nicely just now, but he's going to be quite late, because obviously he wanted to build a wall exactly at this spot, but yeah, he just needs to cover exactly the wall from Grey right now. For him, quite a lot of gold. He won't probably be all too happy about that, especially now that he knows that his opponent is pretty close, because yeah, this is not safe at all, and he will be very open to raiding from his opponent, and I'm kinda thinking that Skittle is well aware of this and will be exactly going for that kind of raiding early in the game. lot of gold in as well, and it really seems like that this map is not really all that bad in gold department. The first player that is not really happy about it is going to be Nimaro, really, because I don't see all that much on the minimap at the back. Yeah, he's already walling himself in, even from his allies. He's maybe expecting he will be raided even from them. Yeah, not really sure about that, but anyway, a relic here, another relic in the middle, and third top, and there are also left with NC. So it seems like more or less equal on the relic department, so no problem whatsoever. Players are already advancing into feudal age, and Skittle is the first actually to be advanced, so that's yet another reason to actually be worried about the advance for blue. And well, I kind of thinking that since Skittle is going for it kind of aggressively, as he's not building his base whatsoever. He's just building his barracks right next to the mill, which is literally next to the gold that Superbua, or rather Nimaro, will be very interested in. Yeah, he kind of can guess what's going to happen for him. Eru is here as well, so that means basically some kind of a double maybe. As Eru is working on walling himself in, not really sure where some kind of military is going to come up with, probably from some fast castle at this point, and some stables, but that's pretty much it. And are we going to see something interesting from the Mongols Skittle here? No, it's just stables, so there's going to be some standard raiding with the scouts and maybe light cavalry later when it's researched. Some interesting stuff going on with other players we haven't had the time to introduce yet. Not much from Ramsey, who is playing pocket for LeOs, just now advancing into feudal age. Going for a stone here, okay, that's interesting. But since he's playing Mayans, not that much, so that basically signals that he's going for a fast castle, and yep, that's going to be stone for the castle. Stables from the Persian, that's the Superboa on the very left, so he's probably going for the same strategy as the Grey player Skittle. It's going to be pretty much the same thing that he's hoping to do right now against Andorin, who is having some kind of idols here. Not really ideal for him, but it doesn't seem he matters, or rather, minds all that much, and okay, he's right now thinking that he can even afford the dog here. Yeah, he definitely can. And well, it's going to be very well worth it for this 200 food from this shellfish. Yeah, this is an MVP kind of dog. So is there some kind of raiding already going on? Well, Gray is definitely thinking about it, but he doesn't have any kind of luck, because Nimaro was on top of that. He was on top of that quite early, and he is walled in absolutely completely. You don't really see any way in, if I'm correct. And yes, I am. But it also means that, yeah, he will be having quite a hard time actually getting back into the game, because obviously he has literally zero, yeah, he has literally zero map control, and right now he's going to be thrashed. And that's a quite interesting answer, and of course quite obvious, because yeah, that's the only thing that right now Skittle can do, because obviously his scout cavalry is not going to do anything at all against all those walling, and well, this is basically gonna deny the only goal that right now Nimaro has been able to get together from. So yep, wall is right now there, and goodbye Nimaro from this gold, not good idea at all. And well, Nimaro is right now trying to get back into the game with blacksmith and archery range, so maybe he will be advancing into some kind of faster castle. Let's switch into his point of view. Oh no, that's Superboa. Within 670, yeah, so there's going to be faster advance into castle with some archers and crossbowmen right there, but it's going to be pretty difficult without having any gold whatsoever, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to develop for him. Green at the same time has walled himself in, still having, yeah, the very nice one fishing ship here, and well, he's right now being raided by Superboa, but he's trying to kill the fishing boat here. And he's actually getting the hits in. Oh, poor fishing boat. Oh yeah, this is a micro-intensive battle. The best I have seen yet this season. And is the fishing boat going to die? Yeah, it definitely will. And this guy also, even though he was trying to protect it, but not really all that successfully. And yeah, goodbye. The boat is dead. And that's a very huge naval battle right there from the very beginning. It seems like that in the middle, Ramsey has the pocket for LeO. God damn it, what did I just say? Simply LeO is volleying himself in with some stone walls, which is a pretty good idea. And since he's been protected by Superboa, this could really work quite nicely. And he's probably going for some faster castle, being Mayan and all. And you can see that Nimaro is also advancing into castle. And yep, looking at the advances, A lot of players going for it, and LeO Vika is actually going for some pretty nice boom, as he's going for quite a lot of upgrades. Horse collar, double bit axe, going for a castle age as well, so he might be actually somebody who will be pretty good and going for some decent raiding in the castle age or whatnot. Right now he is though being raided himself by a nice scout cavalry by Skittle, and well, has it really done any damage? Well, he did force yellow from the gold here, quite obviously, but I don't see all that much dead really. It's just a lot of dead units like yellow scout and 3 gray scouts, so not really going all that well for him, for Skittle, but otherwise, yeah, it did its job. It did its job, because right now yellow is forced to retreat with his gold villages somewhere else on the map. Blue is still not really doing anything much substantial because he isn't allowed to gather gold anywhere else, and he's not even moving anywhere else. So yeah, that's probably not going to end all that well for him. Just now at 49 gold, and he's having just a few skirmishes, and that's pretty much it. Even though he did go for second archery range, and he will be probably hoping that he can somehow get rid of the tower, because yeah, right now it's a big problem for him at this point of the game. Red is continuing with walling his base in, even against his opponents or rather his allies, so yeah, that's successful right there, and just making sure that he isn't abused by other opponents or allies, nonetheless, and building a castle right next to the gold, which is a pretty good idea, as obviously he does need to make sure that his gold is secure, as opposed to Nimano, who just couldn't somehow make sure that his gold is secure for himself. Right now though, Nimano is developing from his own base, using villagers to make sure that the tower goes down, which is a pretty good idea overall, as they are having a pretty good attack against that, but maybe he should just run with those skirmishes somewhere else, as they are just, yeah, getting extra damage that they don't really need at this point. This means though that the Grey should be retreating back from raiding on potentially red and yellow and whatnot all over the map. As obviously he will have to make sure that his opponent blue isn't getting somewhere well ahead of the game here, and right now he is going to be having a pretty nice source of a gold income, which is basically going to allow him the standard play that he wants to do. Right now he's taking initiative, although I'm not exactly sure how he plans to get through the base here with all those skirmishes against just this very nice wall through the buildings, and otherwise on the map something interesting going on. I just see some Eagle Scout, but that's pretty much it, and otherwise yeah, this fishing ship, the second one, is already having a pretty nice defense here by the galley, so that's not going to result in some scouts getting rid of it anytime soon. But otherwise, very nice double wall from Super Boa, who is just trying to make sure that he's not surprised by anything at all. Skittle is advancing into Castle Age as one of the last one, actually pretty much the last one here, and looking at the villagers, we see that Pedro is booming pretty nicely, 48 villagers, 38, yeah, around 35, pretty much all the rest of the players, including LeO. So Pedro should be the most important player later in the game. Right now, though, he is having the castle very nicely, supplying some plumes here, and he will be going for some raiding pretty soon. Blue is going to be retreating back to his base because he needs something else, just to make sure that he can punish his opponent somehow, but I don't really see any siege workshop so far, but well, that might come in pretty soon. Some animals here coming into fight as well, as Eru is joining the battle with Skittle, and well, this might be a kind of problem for Rimano because he is so far just alone, but I see on the minimap that Yellow is arriving at the battle scene and joining with some knights and also some pikemen to make sure that he is helping his ally as much as he can. Blue is at this point amassing just a bit of cavalry archers, so that's pretty much it at this point. And yeah, he can't really leave the base at this point because Arrow is just waiting for that with this squad of knights, which would be pretty much a slaughter of those guys without any problem whatsoever. And well, he is waiting for just some larger numbers so that he can run somewhere and potentially kill some economy of his opponents. Like right now, he's trying to do to skittle through the skirmishes here. But well, they are just getting some extra PC fire, which is not ideal, but yeah, they are at the same time denying some good production for Skittle, which is also valuable at this point. Quite a lot of TCs for Grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's a pretty nice boom. Looking at the kill, 1, 2, 3 TCs. For Pedro, 1, 2, 3. And do we see fourth? Yeah, we do. That's a 40C as well in here, and I kinda think that Andorin is, whoa, it's already 5 TCs, and he's having another dog at the very back, going for some very nice fish trapping. That's not something you'll really see all that often on Arabia, but otherwise that's pretty much it. And well, it seems like that Pedro is the only one who is right now thinking about aggression on the top side. Finding some extra free willies, and yeah, right now he needs to retreat because they have been garrisoned inside the TC, so that means extra fire on the blooms. Otherwise, though, it seems like pretty decent boom for Superboa, who is at 2 TCs and some other back. Yes, third at the very back, and that's pretty much it. Not any fourth, but 3 TCs for oppression. It's not really bad and should result in some pretty decent late game in the Imperial Age. Some huge battles are right now brewing in Mano's base because he's finally getting out of the base with the help of Vikea, and this basically means that the Britain's Arrow has to retreat because he doesn't have enough support here, and he's just fighting against 2 opponents, whereas Grey is not doing all that much. He has killed some of those skirmishers here, but that's pretty much it, and I don't really see all that many army from him so far. So really nicely gate here, even though you can see that these guys are actually going all around, so probably he could be doing a slightly better job actually walling all around to this tree line, and here as well. Yeah, to make sure that this gold mine is as safe as possible. Quite a decent army though at this point through the cavalry archers, which means that knights from Eru are not in a good spot at this point, especially this one that's going to die. And we mustn't forget that Ramsek wasn't really rated all that much as a pocket, and right now he's basically emulating Pedro and doing the same thing that he is doing, and he's having slightly better army at this point, I would say. That's not bad at all, and looking at Pedro, he's having just this few units, joined by these quite soon. That's pretty much it, and yeah, he's just concentrating on booming, as he's right now at 91 villies, and that's, yeah, like a double of Ramsek. So I'm kind of thinking that Ramsek is stretching himself quite a lot. Let's switch into him. Yeah, he's kind of stretched and he's not really thinking about advancing into Imperial Age, whereas NC Pedro just now is clicking at this point, so he will be having a slightly better game than his red opponent at this point. Okay, but he is still going to result into some pretty nice damage here into the economy. As you can see, a lot of empty farms, not doing anything, and also one villager dead, and quite substantially, yeah, making sure that Arrow is not able to supply enough units to the attack here, but at the same time he is with quite a lot of them inside his base, and well, yeah, that was some next level play, deleting the mill, especially when he didn't need to, as the knights already went around it. But anyway, it did serve its purpose somehow, and oh wow, well that's unfortunate for Ramsey because he ran himself into the trap here, just like Admiral Akbar in the Star Wars here. So yeah, that didn't work out all that well for him, and Ramsey is basically just getting rid of losing all the plume archers here, which is pretty horrible at this point, as he will be having absolutely nothing, and inside his base, does he have some replacements? He does, but they are really far away from any kind of battlefield, and that's pretty much going to result in them being dead. Right now though, demolition chip, oh yeah, that's a pretty nice answer to this night raiding on the fish line here. And well, it seems like that Superboa is really thinking that he can actually kill Andorin somehow here quite substantially, as yeah, he's going for a very nice placement of the castle, as he's basically denying some potential good positioning of the archers on the hills. And yet another demolition chip here, and the castle here is really going to control quite a substantial amount of the map, and it's also going to deny Andorin this very crucial fishing spot on the right side. So that's going to be a huge blow to Andorin's economy at this point, and even though he is having 125 villies, those 2 fishing boats are just extra crucial for making sure that he can advance into the Imperial without any kind of threat. So he is advancing anyway at this point, and how's it looking on the bottom side? It seems like that Skittle is not really paying enough attention, because he's right now under attack, under pretty decent attack from Vikea, who is having quite a lot of knights, and yeah, this is not going to be enough from his teammate Eru to actually stop this, and he will need some extra help, and that's Mangonel is not going to cut it, especially against knights here. So he will need some extra units, and so far is he producing anything? Skittle, or is he just going in for Imperial Age? sometime soon. Probably just going for Imperial, looking at the gold and the food stacking up. Yeah, that's probably going to be it. And well, right now this one Magnon is the only unit that can somehow do anything against those cavalry archers. But yeah, Skittle has to be careful because right now he's been quite heavily doubled by a huge army of knights at the top from yellow, and also quite a lot of cavalry archers from blue. And since blue is advancing into the Imperial Age, he might be joined with some much better units quite soon himself. As he is Han, yeah, that's going to be probably some Tarkans or maybe some other horses. We'll see soon enough, I guess. Right now, though, the bottom side is basically up for the taking for LeO, so it's just going to be resulting into how good Skittle can defend with his teammate Arrow. And let's switch to the left side, where the Persians and longboats the fight between the Persians and the longboats right now is going to develop. Well, Superboa is just so far taking the battle very slowly. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't make any kind of mistake, and that might be a good idea, but at the same time it just allows Andorim to advance into the Imperial Age without any nuisance. And since he's going to be having quite a strong economy, 150 villies at this point against Superboa's just 109, and he's just waiting for the storm to happen, because Andorim is just going to be all that much more powerful than his opponent in replenishing the armies. He's already having 2 castles producing some Viking guys. Andorin, god damn it, can't choose even the correct player here. Conscription, yeah, just to make sure that they are producing all that faster. And well, Berserkers are right now getting ready to level this castle, and also the knights that are waiting here for the battle. Quite a lot of stables, so obviously that's what Persians are good at, with paladins. And somewhere else on the map something interesting happening. Yeah, quite interesting raiding for Pedro at this point, who is right now trying to make sure that Leovikia is kind of forced from battling inside Gray's base and having forced to retreat, which he at this point did. And well, that's, yeah, exactly what the pocket of NC has to do, because he is boomed very nicely, being the top in score, well, quite a lot, by 1,000, as opposed to Andorin, as compared to Andorin, and he is being pretty problematic for Vikea, because he is being forced not to gather any gold whatsoever. Yeah, at the back, not doing anything because he's being raided at the tree line also, and in the middle here as well. So basically no save gold for Vikea at this point, which probably is going to result in a pretty bad game for him. Yeah, he's even just 120 gold, and that's not enough to do anything. So pretty good job by Pedro on this. And is he raiding also red? Slightly, but not much, and red should be doing enough against that, or should be having enough to actually stop that, because this is just a few Eagle Warriors, and that shouldn't be enough at all. Inside Gray's base, it seems like that Teal has basically decided that he will be occupying his base as well. Yeah, yet another castle here, and Grey like a Mongol in the Imperial. That's going to be a lot of Mangudais, and supported by Arbalests, obviously, from Eru, and that's going to be quite a decent army against his opponent Nimaro, who right now is going to be just enough, just alone, because Yellow has to defend against the 3 of units that are just coming out of Purple's base. Right now he's trying to make sure that he captures this gold on here, on the middle of the map, and somewhere else on the minimap looking something interesting. Well, this is quite interesting indeed, because Persian Superboa is finally making his way into the attack here, as he's breaking through the palisade walls, and well, he is having to face quite a lot of elite berserkers at this point, and also the longbows, which are exactly the game changers here, and might be the unit that changes the battle here. And well, it's kind of forcing Superboa to retreat from it, because you know, this skirmish is not really going as well as he would have hoped. And we even see some cannon galleons here Alright. This could be it. And is it in range of the trebuchet? Yes, it is. So that's exactly in the range of the trebuchet, and that's the stellar defense that exactly Andorin needs. And well, he doesn't need some stupid bombards or whatever, he just needs the elite cannon galleon. Yeah, I kinda hoping that he's going for elites somewhere. Just going to be somewhere popping in there, if he can go for them. Not exactly sure right now as Vikings, but yeah, that would be the correct unit here, and he's going for the second one. And right now it seems like that the stronger economy from Andorin is pushing through, as you see that Superboa is not able to push out enough units to match what Andorin is doing at this point. So let's have a look on the right side, where we can see that that Teal has broken through the walls and is actually ravaging the economy of Nimano, who is having quite a hard time defending as he has lost quite a lot of units. That seems like dead villagers here, those skeletons, and I kinda thinking these were some cavalry archers that would just remain from the army from Nimano, and well, right now he's under pretty heavy double as Grey is joining in the battle as well, and I'm not thinking that this castle is going to stand for much longer, and it seems like that Nimano is not really having enough economy to compete with all this, and those two archer ranges with the one barracks is not going to be enough to repel all that strong double from his opponent. Sorry. Ford archer ranges, so I would be just too mean to him, and yeah, right now injecting all those villagers and trying to make sure that the castle stands as long as it can, because he's probably hoping that some Tarkans could be helping with raiding his opponent. Right now though, he's in a pretty horrible position, and same can be said about his ally Vikia, who was helping him in the very early game. But right now he has enough troubles with his ally, or rather with his opponent himself, with Pedro, and GGs are being called, and not even Raiden from Red, who is right now trying to make sure that Pedro is forced to retreat, is going to be enough, as really it's not strong enough, and this huge amount of barracks is just about ready to get rid of any kind of nuisance like that. On the left, let's have a look. Yeah, the castle has already been leveled through some very nice use of the elite cannon galleons. Yeah, they are elite already. And well, that's pretty much it. As really, Andorin Seko was just too strong for Superboa, and Superboa just couldn't supply enough units as opposed to Andorin. Just good. Well, that was quite an interesting game indeed. So let's have a look at the achievements, how the players did. Casas Boxo, probably. I'm just going to see it right about now. Pedro, looking at him, he is the MVP at this point. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Andorin also, and otherwise, yeah, these two players did really stand out, I have to say. And from Leos, definitely Superboa. Did he have the highest score? Oh, yeah, he did. Yes, he did, together with Remsik. Just army for Pedro. And quite strong economy from Andorin overall. And a bit of a sling here from Andorin to Pedro. Alright, GG then.